I have that it's 7 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. And we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. First item on our agenda, approval of May minutes and June claim docket. Hope everybody's had a chance to review those.
I reviewed the May minutes and the June claim docket, and I'll make a motion that we have.
Okay, I got a first.
I'll second. Whoever. I'll second.
All right. Only one typo that I found on the minutes. You have that we have till the end of December of 22 to spend ARPA, but we have till the end of 25.
Well, we better make a note of that.
The end of 25. December of 25 is when.
Oh, I thought it was 24.
Is it? We can double check, but it's definitely not 22. All right. So with that change, all in favor of approving that, so signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. So one of the things I'm going to try and work on in today's meeting and future meetings is talking about our public comment. I know we have a couple of other visitors here today, but if you're here to make public comment, we do follow an agenda. And there's a sign-in sheet at the back of the room where when you came in, if you want to make public comment, sign in. So we're not interrupting the agenda. We can flow through this with kind of a rules of order, so to speak. Okay? So that's what we want to do with our public comments. Old business. First thing is fire department contract.
Chief Russell
Brian's
has,
already left.
he's already signed it.
Okay. All right, so we just have to sign it ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I make a motion.
All right, so I need a motion to accept the contract.
I'll make a motion that we accept the fire contract.
All right, have a first.
I'll second.
Okay, have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Manhole Rehab. Who's talking about Manhole Rehab? Jeff or George?
Well,
Or
I'll
Pete?
start. George is writing some notes. George has been doing some research on the infiltration into our system and manholes and looking at that. In fact, that's me and George were just talking about that, which manholes.
Yeah, I've got three key areas that I identified that basically are
Stand up at the podium. So
looking at as starting points or key points, if you will. So it's like all this has got to be flowing into some area. So there's three key areas that I've got. One encompasses all of Gilbert Woods. One is kind of the downtown area, and the other one is kind of downtown central and the north side. So I've got three manholes that I've been monitoring. I'm looking at them during low flow and high flow. And there's one key area that I want to really concentrate on, and that is as you come up 39 where the old tracks used to be, and I'm not sure what that street is right there, but Woods' old house right there. It's manhole C1, but it's C1 and D2 intersect with it. There's a lot of water coming from those homes right there, and there shouldn't be. So a couple of those manholes are on private property, so I need to make sure I can get onto the property to be able to investigate those, but then I'm going to get a meter where I can quantify how much flow is really coming through those areas. So
I think that's Reagan Street. Isn't it? Reagan Street.
Reagan Street, yeah.
I
Reagan
think
Street.
they've had trouble there a lot.
Yeah. So it's that group of housings and that runs all the way up by where the Presbyterian church is at, and then it runs back north there a little bit. So it's that cluster up in there. So I'm concentrating on that. The part that looks at the B substrate, which is where the old mill used to be in downtown Central, there doesn't seem to be much flow at all coming through there. So I've got some numbers on how much should be coming from each area based upon a number of homes that are hooked onto it and the average flow that it should be. So we should be able to put some numbers to this and make some meaningful information out of it pretty soon here.
And we're not sure it's the manholes themselves, because a couple of
No.
those manholes have already been rehabbed,
Yeah.
so
Right, cause
trying
Could be a
to,
crack
we
in
had the
pipe or
issue with the concrete at the corner of Crawford and Rehab, or Crawford and Reagan after they rehabbed that manhole over there, so, but it's something in
Yes.
that region
Yeah.
of town.
It-
Okay,
Yeah, first glance. So,
All right.
starting to dig in. It's just, you know, you gotta wait for the rain and enough rain to be able to quantify that something's going on.
and you've gone up, farther upstream, so we know it's kind of
Yeah.
not all the way upstream, it's kind of, he's narrowed it down to
Yeah.
an area.
And then
Okay.
comparing that to basically another location, which is just, south of the, fire department there. So there's a main manhole there, which really encompasses all those homes, that are around the fire department. And then it goes all the way down, 500 and then all the way back in, it gets all the homes in the Gilbert Woods. And if you look at the flow that's coming from them as compared to the flow that's in this other area, it's like a lot more. So, and it shouldn't be. So it's probably getting groundwater in from somewhere, so we'll take a look at that.
and,
I'm gonna need a few more rain events, so we're coming into a dry season, so it may take a little while.
alright, and that section of piping along 500 is where the school's gonna tie into,
Right.
so if it would, I guess if we can find a solution to that.
Well, that one looks good, that's what I'm saying, that looks reasonable
Oh, okay.
compared to the number of homes that's hooked onto it. And using that as a basis for what the others should look like is kind of what I'm looking at.
Okay. All right, thanks for continuing to work on that. Let us know what
Sure will.
we need to do with that. So, all right, so I'm told that our sale of our beet juice spreader is gonna be tabled for another month. We don't have any new information on that. Is that correct?
Well, you was going to, Graham was gonna find out whether we could just sell it outright, or, cause you had something else you wanted, side by side you wanted to get rid of too, so.
All right, yeah, he's on vacation this month, so Graham is enjoying some time off, so we will table that till next month. One other thing, I wrote a note to myself on here to not forget. We have a couple of doors to buildings in town that are not closing real great. This one here, so if you're here in the town hall and you leave, please double check that door closed. The town garage door, also, I've found it open at night when I've come home from work, and I think that it just doesn't latch all the way, and wind will just push it right back open. So just kind of make sure whoever's down at the town garage that door pulls closed all the way. So, all right. New business. We have a name of a street that we're debating.
Well, yes, goes back to Dwayne Lane's project there, between Iowa and, what is it, Pennsylvania? Which will be a one-way street going east. He has suggested we name that, in order to put an address to it, we gotta put a name to it, that way if emergency response needs a name. He suggested Illinois Street. I just wanted to bring it before you before I said yes to that name. If you had any different thoughts on that, it's gonna be a short street. Don't think it's gonna go any other direction in the future, the way things look today. So it's really up to the council. A lot of times developers propose names and that's what gets said. So it kind of fits with the theme you've got going through town of using states.
I agree with that, part of it.
So,
All right, any discussion from town council members on,
Are we in a big hurry to do it?
well, getting ready to pull the permits to build the.
Okay, so we're in a hurry to do it. Yeah, okay. I was just gonna say, it might be kind of fun to have a little contest online or something
Yeah.
for the town.
I'm
people
surprised
in
it
town,
didn't come up when he was rezoning it and going
Yeah.
through that whole portion of it a year plus ago.
Yeah. So, Illinois is fine with me.
Illinois is fine with me too.
Okay.
It would be, yeah, good plan.
How about you name it Jenny Lane? She's been here longer.
I'm sorry, that's Penny Lane, isn't it?
For the record, I like Dwayne Lane, but.
Dwayne Lane
I'll
Lane, I
settle
think
for
it's
Illinois.
good.
All right, so we in agreement on Illinois then, John?
Yeah.
You're the Illinois. All right. Illinois it is,
I'll reach out to him,
Yeah.
let him know.
Illinois Street.
I got yours.
Could you first
Make
tell
sure
him
to
it's Dwayne
spell it
Lane,
right.
and then tell him it's Illinois?
Huh?
Could you first tell him it's Dwayne Lane,
And tell
and
him.
then
As a joke.
tell him it's
I will.
I know we suggested that
Yeah.
a year ago, and he apparently didn't like it if he's coming back with Illinois, but. All right. Jeff, next is purchase of 12 East Michigan Street.
Yes, I have talked to the owners and a representative of the owner, and they have agreed to a price of $24,000 to sell that to the town. I was hoping to actually have a contract to present you for approval tonight, but with Graham being on vacation, I didn't get that done. But what I would like council to do is authorize that as a purchase price, and I will get the contract signed and then get marching on the process to close on that property. I will give him some time as we get up to close, during pre-closing, to get anything out of the garage that he needs to get out of it, but it's a certain point in time, there'll be a cutoff.
Do you know what that time frame might be?
From 30 days
Close.
from, well, no, this will be, I want it all done before closing.
Okay.
It's my preference. I don't want to go after closing. So he's going to have a time. It's got, so it'll be 30 to 45 days, whatever it takes us to get through the signing and then to close the property.
Okay. All right. Do I have any discussion on that from the town council?
Do you need a motion
I
for
do.
that, or?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we authorize Jeff $24,000 for the property.
Okay, I got a first motion.
I'll second that.
All right, second motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. And then,
Thank you.
demolition of structure on 12 East Michigan.
Be 63,000.
I don't have any official quotes at this point in time to give you. We probably have time to come back to the next council meeting to approve any demolition quote, because I don't think we'll get through the process between now and the next council meeting, but I will go out and get quotes. I'm expecting it between 12 and 15. It may go as high as 20, but I don't see it going any higher than that from what I'm hearing, talking to a few contractors and what they were telling me they thought they could get it done for. So,
All right,
I
so
got
we-
a question for you. Let's say you give him I'll use time frame 30 days to clean his stuff out. You don't get it cleaned out, and the building's ours, you don't get it out, then,
that would be correct,
okay, so.
because he's gonna have to have help moving. Supposedly there's 2 cars in there and they're pretty buried from what I understand. So.
I know Nick has offered to help him get those
Mhm.
out with his tow trucks.
And I would work with Nick, and because of that relationship, and Nick,
Sure.
Nick helped him get out of the Harbisons across the street, and took all that stuff to wherever he lives that was in the Harbisons, so I'm assuming that could be arranged as well. So,
Okay. Any
That's-
other discussion on demolition? All right. One thing that was kind of brought up to me, and actually it's been brought up in the past a few times, but In 2019, we had a storm drain up off of North Pennsylvania in front of 4474 that collapsed, and we hired a company to do work on it. When they finished, they leveled it out immediately after putting the dirt back, and it's settled. So there's basically a big trough. It goes kind of catty corner across 4474 towards houses on Ader. So I was just wondering if we could check into, like, how much fill dirt would that need to level that back out and
We're
get,
with Pete and Pat, and we'll,
Is that Judy's?
yeah, where we replaced that storm drain
I've seen it.
along there,
yeah, I
You know,
walked with Judy once, and it's hers and her neighbors, I believe, to the north.
right. So just if we could get an estimate on that, I think, I mean, to me, that money would come out of our storm drain fund to buy more fill dirt if we needed to.
We've got down far.
We got plenty? Okay. Yeah, if we don't mind checking into that, I would be appreciated. Alright, Jeff, you're up next on my agenda. What else you have?
Well, a couple things. Let me just pass this out. Doug, I gave you yours earlier. This is numbers, yes. And I'm not wanting you to look at it tonight. You can look at it tonight, but we don't need to discuss it tonight. This is from the budget meeting we had a couple weeks ago. I sat down with Jenny, and we've gone through it and really looked at the budget with where we've spent in the past, where can we cut, with the goal of getting it down to where Paige said we needed to get it down to. If you remember from her presentation, she said we would have 301,400 to spend. I actually right now, and Jenny, I had to add to it, so we're not as close as I was a few days ago when I adjusted the increase in insurance costs. So I got down to 304,207. So we're under $3,000 apart right now.
Did you add in my, election expenses?
We hadn't talked about.
I sent it to you, I emailed it to you. Sorry, $1,000 for election expenses, because we have a town election next year.
Oh, now over at that 3,000.
Well,
Bam.
now we're there.
We're much closer than we were last year.
We are,
So-
and where I took the biggest chunks, one, I eliminated any grant match. You had 25,000 in the budget for grant match. And I reduced the attorney expenses. I know that can be a double-edged sword, but I'm also, you can take attorney's expenses out of some of your income taxes. So we have another line item to look if we need some of those. It looks like historically you only spend, 17 to 20,000, and last year because of the fire territory discussion and some other lawsuits, you went up over 40. So I'm cutting that back to 20,000, which is what looks to be what you typically spend. It was my justification. What we can do is we can come up with a budget that lives within our means as far as our income, and we do have reserve dollars, and sometimes those reserve dollars grow and you want to do a bigger project and we spend down those reserves. We can actually budget that. Deficit spending is what that's called, and you've technically been budgeting that way in the past and just not spending all your budget. This gets us to much closer to what you're typically spending. And what I'd like to do is, you set a next meeting and we can go through this in detail. I'm gonna work with Jenny on the MVH, the income tax dollar line items. I actually I'm gonna work with George on the sewer side and create a different budget for his different line items so we can better track where we're spending even that fund. It's not required by DLGF, it's just good budget practice. So, if you can take a look at this, call me, email me with questions, why I did what, but I'm gonna be getting with Jenny and we're gonna continue going through this. The edit dollars, we will not know what the 23 income will be until about, the final dollars until about October. We'll be approved the budget before then. I'm gonna use some estimates based off the $22 and be conservative with it. So, just a little different scenario than what you've done in the past. Other things, when we did the carpet in here, they actually had like one piece of carpet left, was all. I'd like to buy another box or 2 boxes of carpet. That's gonna run just $530 or so if we do that. To let you know, I may just buy, I've got a question out to how many tiles are in a box. I just don't want us to have a ruined piece and not have something to
Okay.
replace it. And if we don't, huh?
Did we already talk?
We did, but I'm just telling you what it's gonna cost.
Okay, gotcha.
Also, HWC has completed the field work for all the ADA study. They're putting the report together now. On the pavement analysis rating, they're about a third of the way through that process, and we've got a little time to do that. And then finally, before I leave today, I will change the marquee sign, putting the cleanup day information on it, which is in a week and a half. It's not this weekend, it's following weekend, the 18th,
Saturday, yeah,
week from Saturday, so I'll get that up on the marquee, so.
9 to 3.
I know Dave's got it on the website, but
We put 8 to 4 on the,
Oh, okay.
this was an executive decision by your president.
Okay,
so it's 8 to 4.
okay.
I'll be there. No.
Okay, well, I'll change mine before I put it up. I guess
I
Dave.
can change it. I can change it.
So yeah, it's just
I thought that's what we had said last meeting in the town council.
That's good enough, that's no problem.
it's fine.
Are we gonna do shifts with people being out there? I know last year it just seemed like we all hung out there the whole time.
Painstakingly sweat out there the entire time altogether.
We did.
Yeah, I think it's
So much fun.
just a group station.
Okay. I do have a little pop-up shelter now. We bought one, so I'll take it out there and set it up.
That's
we'll
not
be-
gonna be any good. We
We'll
need
be
to
able
suffer.
to hang out underneath a little awning.
400 degrees out there.
We'll be, have some
What's the extent-
people
what's
helping
the
with some
extent forecast
fans,
look like?
get some seniors from the high school that
Mhm.
fans, but anyway.
But yeah, that's all I've got for you. It's from the planning building side, it's been pretty quiet. I've had a number of building permit requests that are outside of town. I've done one inspection over at the Halversons over here and they're doing pretty nice work in that building. And unfortunately, I had one cancel on me at the last minute yesterday. I didn't have to come back out. So, but there's some work going on in town.
Okay.
Current forecast for the 18th is 89 and sunny.
Sunny.
And Clayton Cafe keeps inching forward.
I talked to him Tuesday night, and these were his words. He says, July 1st or by the 4th, he'll be open. His hours will be 6 to 3, Monday through Thursday, 6 to 9 on Friday and Saturday, and he will have catfish.
Now, all I've talked to is the construction guys. And they
Yeah,
don't.
no, he was down there Tuesday night.
Okay.
We just, like Jenny says, we'll have to see.
See it, believe it when we see it.
Well,
Any questions for Jeff from town council members? Okay, next item, Chief Olvin.
Really don't have anything. Still working on some concerts and getting band out. I'm trying to work through that. People call me back, so I'm working through that. We get some dates back. Everything's getting hammered out soon, hopefully.
All right, at the budget workshop, we batted around the idea about a new Tahoe for the police department.
Right.
Did you
I
contact
have-
your,
I have Kelly Chevrolet in Fort Wayne. They have one. They have a bunch of extra ones that they ordered, but they won't be here till next year, which is fine. we can put our name on one if the council's interested.
Okay, this would be an area where we could spend ARPA funds, to buy a Tahoe. The current Tahoe we have is, what, 10 years old?
So we're older now.
Okay,
It's 2011.
okay.
How many miles are on it?
Almost 100. So it's more idle time than miles. Because it idles a lot.
You've had a couple issues with it lately.
Yeah, we put some money in this year. That's really, it's just, I think it's probably gonna increase over time, the longer we keep it.
Okay, so
I would advise, I think we should advise him to put the name on the list for the,
use our ARPA fund for buying a new Tahoe for the police department, and at least get our name on one of them
Okay.
for that process.
Yep.
Get started, and then any questions?
Well, one thing we gotta consider more with the price of fuel going up, I don't know if it's ever gonna get back down to a normal price, so.
We're still doing
Fuel
decent.
economy on.
We're doing decent on, it's actually pretty good. But the idle time on any police car though, your best you're gonna get is 15 miles to the gallon on a police car. Just because of the idling. You could buy, unless you buy an electric car, which that's not our budget. So, it's just difficult because they
Let me just get an extension cord to follow you around.
You're running traffic and it just, running radar and it just idles a lot. But there's not a whole lot of options.
All right,
It does just as good as on any other police vehicle.
okay. Well, it sounds like the town council is all for you putting your name on one, and we'll use ARPA funds, when that process goes forward.
They would expect it to be January or February before it actually comes in. So.
Okay,
If you ever get another one of those radars or speed signs, I think an ideal place to put one up is between four-way stop and going out of town. I know it's coming in, they slow that, no, over here.
Oh, it's the north is bad too.
Yeah,
But that's where I've been sitting lately.
Cause I know it's coming in town, they slow down, and then coming from the south, they're slowing down.
Right.
But between here and there, once they get this four-way stop, they're busting.
And they're doing the same thing, going about the flower shop is where they're,
Yeah.
I mean, the other day, one shift I stopped 8 cars.
Yeah.
And they were all going north out of town.
Yeah, cause every day I about get hit backing out of that driveway because they fly around that corner.
I've been noticing that post-pandemic, I don't know if people just are impatient now, but the driving is terrible everywhere. So, another thing with the Tahoe, my plan is if we can budget it, I'd like to start and fully market, just make it a little more visible. So, that's kind of my plan. Maybe do an art project with the high school, but come up with a design.
yeah, give us some cost estimates on what you wanna spend on it. And like I said, we got ARPA funds that we can use for it.
We should get a decent, used car value so high, we should get a decent trade on the Tahoe too, will help offset some of those costs.
Okay, any other questions for Chief Alden? All right, George Burnett, you're up.
I'm up here, right?
Yeah.
Official. Alrighty, so, 6 items here. So, I've been getting lots of phone calls, Jenny, and telling them to call you about people moving into town.
Yeah.
Are they calling you?
Yeah.
Okay. Some of them I've been redirecting to Plainfield because they call and think they're in Clayton and they're
Yeah.
really in Belleville or something. Okay. And then, I did some dye testing on the storm drains, just to let everybody know, and I can't find anything coming through the storm drains that I've checked. Checked on the north end, the middle, the south end, ran the dye in it, nothing's showing up at the plant, so that's why I moved on to the manholes. So that was item number 2. Item 3 was the manholes, but we already talked about that issue, so I'll just keep going with that. The auger quote, I got the auger quote back for just the auger. It's just a little bit under 90,000 for the auger monster, but I'm having struggles getting somebody to quote on it. Everybody's so booked up right now. I did get somebody to come out and look at it, and they're supposed to be getting back with me. So once I get
install?
Yeah, a demo and an install
Okay.
quote.
You mean you have,
Yeah.
you have the price for the auger, but not for the monster?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So hopefully I can push them to get something, but even when we get to that point, lead times are gonna be way out, cause just getting parts and stuff is really crazy right now. So it could be, I think Logger Monster alone, I think, was like 4 or 5 months, something like that, just to get it. So I'm pushing this guy to give me a quote, if he will. And then that was item 2 and item 3, and then we got IDM come down and inspected and was concerned about, you know, still having the inflow and stuff. So that's where the, I told him we're working on the manholes and working on that, so I think you've got the letter and we're working on responding to that.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
So the IDM inspector sent us a letter
Yeah.
on the violations?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of it had to do with the bigger construction project that we didn't do.
Yeah. He came out because we got the permit. I guess GRW applied for the permit, so it was in the works on their part, even though it wasn't in the works on our part. So they see it as, hey, progress should be happening. So he came out to look to see the progress, said, hey, nothing's happening, what's going on here? And then, well, we didn't get the funding. Well, you know, that led to other things. So not getting funding is not an excuse, and so on and so forth. So we said, well, we're working on it from another angle, which he was happy about that. He said, you know, if I can use the 2 tanks that I have down there for overflow conditions, which, you know, when it rains and we can just raise the gate, let it flow into one of the empty tanks, that takes care of the surge, and then when it's down to low flow, I can pump that back over. He was totally okay with that as a temporary remedy until we can solve the manhole issues or whatever ends up being that's causing the surges to come through. I don't know how we'll address the secondary part, which is how come we haven't started construction, but
Well, I mean,
the construction part, so.
right, I can answer that if,
Yeah.
since my name's on the
I think it got.
legal document for the
Yeah,
wastewater treatment plan,
okay,
forward that to me and I'll
Did-
reply.
okay. Can you forward?
I'll forward it to you.
Okay.
Cause he copied me on it. He
Cause
sent
that's,
it to-
last time they did the inspection, I was the main person that they said, hey, why are you letting these violations happen? But,
Yeah,
yeah, we can
okay,
certainly put together an answer for them.
good. I verbally talked to him on the phone, but he has to have it in
Sure.
writing.
Right. Yeah, if you don't mind forwarding that to
I'll
me
give
and
it to you.
I'll get that, response
Yeah,
back to him.
fantastic.
And,
That's my 6 items.
did we need to readdress the lawn mowing at the wastewater treatment plant?
So
You talked, yeah.
I already talked to Pinner, and he was just doing it as a favor because he was already starting. I told him not to do it anymore. Jeff had called me, and then Ad had already gone down and done a fantastic job on it. So it's, you know, it's up to
Okay.
the board. So
I
if
just
you wanna
wanted to
keep
make
it
sure,
that
I know
way,
we kind of
everybody's
reneged on
okay with
our
it.
decision
Yeah.
last week, or last month, but I didn't know
I
if
think
that
he was
needed
gonna
to be.
turn in a bill though
He did,
for
he turned in
what
a
he'd
bill
already
for
done.
3 times at the event.
And I said, okay, after that, you know,
Gotcha.
the services were all, so everybody's okay.
Excellent. Just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page.
Pat did an awesome job, so just let everybody know, it was really good. Yeah.
Any other questions for George from the town council?
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Pete, you're up next on the agenda.
The only thing I have is I got a hold of McAllister's. You probably know him, Bill.
Yeah.
Paul. Talked to him today, he said that the Kubota rep was there yesterday. The original date was 1 to 3, now it's 3 to 6. They have, and after a lengthy discussion, we decided it was Putin's fault.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll have it before it snows.
Okay.
I tried to bribe him to get our name up.
Keep us
on the list,
updated.
but-
You can't say bribe on a public,
Oh, okay.
microphone here, buddy.
I tried to convince
He
him.
tried to negotiate.
Negotiation.
All right, so the Kubota is delayed a few more months.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Pat, anything from you?
No, I'm just staying busy mowing, that's about it. Lawn care, brush removal, nothing in particular.
I have one thing for you, Pat.
Yes.
500 South and Iowa Street, there's no street sign anymore, I don't know what happened to it.
Really?
There's nothing marked with 500 South in Iowa,
Okay,
so if we could get something back there.
sure.
Manhole Rehab.
Oh. And also,
No sign there. I don't know what happened.
Well, I mean, last year somebody mowed down both the stop signs and then you had to put them back up. So somebody must have mowed them down again.
I don't see anything, I don't know what happened.
They got out, threw it in the back of their pickup and went on. They didn't want to.
I don't walk around out there, but driving by, so it disappeared or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when it disappeared, but it's disappeared.
And it is the street marker.
Yeah, the green street sign still.
Okay.
Which we should have plenty of extras of those, right?
And I did count the posts, we still have enough posts for the new stop signs, including your erector set that you used.
Well, most of that was the older ones that were
Well, there was
just
one
laying
big
around,
one
but
we used, but the
for
rest
the
of it was good.
spreader. That was an entertaining
But it was appreciated.
day. Fixing that. All right.
I gotta make it
Okay.
Yeah.
the Friday, at least before the Saturday we clean up, we always wanna make sure that lot down there at the cul-de-sac
Yeah.
is mowed.
Oh, okay.
Keep that mowed.
Okay.
And
Sure.
then you'll be working that day too with us.
Yeah.
And I'm like.
Okay, Jerry.
Okay, and, I noticed a lot of, I killed the weeds in front of my house at the sidewalk, but a
Yeah,
lot
I
of them are
noticed a
growing
lot
up.
of them.
Yeah.
I think we need to spray again. Correct.
Well, we used to use the UTV to
Well,
run around and spray.
We'll have to use the backpack, but yeah, that takes a while, yeah, 4-gallon backpack. That's what I started out before we got the UTV.
Okay.
So you're talking about
so you're
sidewalk
familiar with
down
it.
39
Yeah,
to the south.
through the
Yeah,
town,
all the way
Oh,
down.
just all the way.
all the way out.
Okay.
And that usually results from people blowing all their grass out on the sidewalk and leaving it there.
Or go the other way.
Yeah, if it would.
Yeah, I noticed people don't really leave their yards to do, walk 3 feet to get into weeds out there.
And just so you know, on a couple of the high grass situations like the neighbor here and across the street, Pat has mowed those back a little bit from the sidewalks. And yes, I have sent notices out to our worst offenders already on those. So, but we wanted to at least people feel comfortable on the sidewalks. They were getting overgrown pretty good.
Yeah, I've been, like, for example, this burned down house right over here where the grass was starting to fall over, across the sidewalk. I'll take the mower and just kinda ease up on it to cut that grass back a little bit, trying to keep the sidewalks open,
Sure.
seeing harm in it, so.
Sure. Okay. All right, any other questions for Pat from town council members? Okay, does any town council member have any other business they want to add or discuss?
I'll be getting a hold of GoDaddy and dropping part of the hosting part of it tomorrow or this week soon, so it should fall off that bill. And does Pat need an email address?
I do have an email address.
No, you don't have a town?
Town email
email
address.
Oh,
I personally think he needs a town.
It's a
email
double-edged
address.
sword.
sure.
If you want, okay, so I'll see if I can get an email address.
Anything else, Dave?
Nope.
All right, Leanne?
Nope.
John? And Steve? Oh, one thing I didn't add, the backhoe for the 18th, you got that taken care of also, John?
No, I gotta talk to Tony, I didn't talk to him yet.
Okay, all right,
I'll give him a call tomorrow.
just double checking. Jenny?
I just have, we cashed in, Jeff and I made an executive decision. We had a $5,000 CD with PNC and we were getting from 8 cents to 9 cents a month interest off of it. So we cashed it in. We thought we would check with, North Carolina State Bank and see what if their interest was like 10 to 15 cents. We'd go with that.
Okay.
I think the North Salem State Bank's savings account was paying more than that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right.
So anyway, I did cash it in, and it's in the local road and street fund now.
Okay, very good. Did we have any, public, people signing in to make public comment? No, okay. All right, do I have a consensus for adjournment?
Yes, yes.
All right, at 7:40, meeting adjourned.
Wait a minute, go back.
Oh, back up. Take that
You wanna
back.
make another budget meeting
Another budget meeting. Sure,
to go over this stuff?
okay.
Thank you, Jenny.
Where the calendar go?
When the floor guys were working up here,
It stole it?
they knocked it down into the glue.
Oh.
They put it back up, but the glue, like, anyway, glued all the pages together.
So we need a replacement.
We need one of those digital things.
A digital calendar.
Wherever time you forget.
Yeah, you won't be able to use it.
All right, well, everybody, we can get our calendars out and look at,
John's law.
I send all the stuff in, and I know he doesn't see it, but I send it.
so our next town council meeting is on the 14th of July. So do we wanna have what, before then or after then? Or obviously sooner the better, but,
I have my meeting set with, what's her name? Miranda, August the 18th. So we need to have everything done by then. And I think probably one more meeting we should be able to get.
Yeah, one more meeting should be able to
Yeah,
get
we
done,
should be
and,
able to get it done.
yeah. I'll have more direction at the next one for you.
And if you wanna come in at 6, you think we can get it done in an hour, from 6 to 7 before the town council meeting?
Probably.
If you wanna do that.
I mean, so far, we were trying to have those community input sessions at 6.
That's true.
Today, we didn't have anybody show up, but if,
We had some people.
we had,
We had a
two people
few
show up.
people show up.
we had,
You had quality people.
What about 2 weeks from today, the 23rd of June, or do you wanna do it July 7th, which would then only give you a week between your next meeting? If you wanna suggestions, or the 30th, if you like.
I'm on shift on both the 30th and the 7th,
Okay.
but I'm not working on the 23rd like you first suggested. 23rd of June.
June. Or we can look to a different day of the week.
23rd's good for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
23rd.
Is that a Thursday?
It
Could
is.
probably make that work.
on the 2-3.
I'm heading downtown next morning.
On the 2-3 at 6 p.m. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
That's fine.
June 23rd.
6:23. Okay.
And then if we have any cleanup changes after that, we can just run them at the regular council meeting,
Yeah,
or,
get them done on the 14th.
yeah.
Okay, so special budget meeting the 23rd of June at 6 p.m. Very good. All right. Now are we ready to?
I'm gonna set a reminder to tell John to attend meeting.
Oh, John.
Send your pigeon to let John know.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm
Here goes.
above the ground, I'll be here.
All right. Meeting adjourned.